Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Martenni. If you're new here, welcome to the journey, welcome to the healing. And if you're a return subscriber, welcome back to my crazy life. I've been wanting to do this video for a while because I am Filipino. And I feel like we don't really talk about Filipino beauty the way we should. So, as you guys know, I grew up here in Detroit, Michigan, to a Ghanaian father and a Filipino mother. And I've always kind of grown up on my Filipino side. And I've always heard certain things about what it means to be pretty or feminine. And a lot of that comes from the Filipino culture. If you've ever been to the Philippines or if you ever know about anything Filipino, I like to categorize some countries as feminine and masculine. And I feel like Philippines gives everything soft, feminine, femininity, beauty. If you've ever been to the country, if you've ever been to those islands, I'm an island girl, it's all freeing and just everything beauty. And I don't talk much about my Filipino culture at all. So this month, I promised you guys that I will be more on my Filipino side, and I want to kind of just dive you guys into my mom's culture and into my culture because I am a Filipino woman. I am Pinay and I am Blazian, and we don't talk about it that much. And I want you guys to know about the beauty standards in the Philippines. So I'll be doing my makeup, and I'm going to do a soft Filipino glam, and we'll be using BLK Cosmetics, which is a Filipino brand. You cannot get these products in the US unless you order it. These are straight from the Philippines. Right now we'll just be using some of these products, okay? I got a blush, eyeshadow, and brow. And if you guys know Filipino makeup, it's literally soft blush, eyeshadow, brows. So this Filipino look is also called the Bebot look. I don't know if you ever heard the song Bebo, 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 Ikawahaki. Bebo literally shaped me. If you grew up here, listen to the Black Eyed Peas, and if you ever grew up as a Filipino American, Bebo shaped us. And if you guys don't know what Bebo means, Bebo literally means a pretty Filipina woman, a beautiful Filipina woman. Bebo, bebo, be. Right now, we're gonna just start with my brows. And you guys, if I chop this, don't be mad at me, because this is my first time doing this. We will be starting with their brow. This is their brow stick and mascara duo. So one side is brows and one side is for mascara. But we clearly won't be using the mascara till then. So this is their mascara side. And this is their brows. So, if you've ever been to the Philippines, especially as a Blazian, well, and I feel like this is just Asia, period, you would know that Filipino beauty standards literally is all about looking clean, looking soft, and looking neat. If you've ever looked into Asian culture, if you ever looked into geishas and stuff, you've seen the makeup. It's all about looking a certain way, especially during those times of the dynasty and stuff. You had to look perfect for the emperor. So I feel like all these beauty standards in Asia did carry over to the Philippines, and Filipinos literally embody those type of standards. Me growing up, especially going to debuts or Filipino, our family dinners and stuff, there was always pressure to always look presentable. Your hair has to be a certain way. And being a Black Filipina was even more pressure because we didn't grow up having the same type of hair. My hair was thick. And not to even talk about racial things or anything in the Philippines, but my mother, I literally had to get my hair rebonded as a child just so my hair could be straight. You know, nothing against my mom, but I have African hair. Like, she married an African, so my hair is thick. So imagine me as a little girl not understanding why I had to get my hair literally relaxed just to look like an Asian persuasion doll. Even like being told how to like know how to like groom, sit, and behave as children, like that literally shaped me as well. You know, you can't walk into no Asian house and not take your shoes off. Like, there are just certain things that you had to know, that you had to do. And that literally subconsciously taught me as a woman etiquette. Filipino beauty standards also go in line with Filipino etiquette. You need to greet your elders. You need to greet your elders. I know what y'all know what this means when y'all do this. It's a sign of respect. And that was something I did literally as, I think the first time I really consciously knew I was doing that was when I was like 4. You need to greet your titos and your titas with respect. And that was just something that was always embedded in me. Filipino beauty is not loud like it is in westernized societies. Filipino beauty is control. It's not about how you look. It's about how you carry yourself. And you can see that if you've ever seen a Filipina woman. A lot of us, we're taught beauty in a young age and how to basically be respectable. And I think that has actually shaped me as a woman. And I just really am thankful for my mother even just shaping that. As she learned to be an American, all of the Filipino beauty cultural standards were, like I said, they were literally taught to me as young as 4. I didn't do that much on my eyebrows because it's a little brown, but this is how we're going to look. Brows in the Philippines, not too bad, not too, not too much. I am going to start with the concealer. And I use L'Oreal's Infallible 24-hour wear in, what color is this? 405 Caramel Foncé Toffee. And this is a UK thing, but this is just something that I do because I do have bags. But back to what I was talking about. Going more into the Bebot. Bebot isn't about being like extra. It's about being like soft and confident. I don't know if you guys remember the video, which I'm gonna like put right here, but that whole Black Eyed Peas video was all about Filipino baddies being confident. And I feel like Filipinos are always confident. Like, it's a cultural thing. We're confident in our food. We're confident in our singing. We're confident in how we throw parties. We're confident in family values. That's one thing that I really love. Like, everything is community, but we're gonna get more into that because we're more so focused on beauty standards right now. There's a sweetness to being a Filipino, especially like when you're in your like feminine era as a Filipino. It's kind of hard to explain unless you kind of grew up around it, but my Filipinos, comment below like if you understand what I'm talking about. Like, there's literally like a sweet side to being a Filipina, a Pane. And I guess Filipino femininity, when you kind of compare it to Western baddie culture, it's literally like, I know y'all see the show Baddies. It's not that. Like, Filipino beauty, it's about being poised, upright. Western culture today is, I'm a baddie, you gotta buy me all this Chanel, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I didn't grow up in that. I don't know. And then, growing up in Detroit, it's kind of just like, whoa. I don't know why we're like that, but hopefully this just goes to show that, like, some beauty standards just don't make sense. Like, and then, we're Asian, so, like, we really don't care about, like, bodies. Like, another thing about Filipino beauty, I know y'all know a few Filipino creators that are, like, in the fitness era, like Sarah or my fellow Blazian, Filipino Ganyan, like these two creators, they're literally like the epitome of like Filipino baddies and fitness. Like I don't really know that many Filipinos that really get their booty done, like maybe their boobs, but like I don't know, like, you know, as an Asian, you kind of really don't have that luxury, but it's just kind of seeing, you know, it's different. You know, being skinty is a thing in Filipino culture. Both beauty standards exist. They just feel different. And it's kind of like hard trying to like navigate, like when I'm here and I'm trying to be like a Filipino, but then I'm around like all these westernized baddie standards. It's just like, how can I like mix the two? And it's like, no, it's all like, why conform? Be different. Now I'm going in with the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and this is in the color 7.8. If you're Blazian and you kind of have the skin tone like me, I definitely recommend this for the winter. As a little girl growing up and looking at my titas and my mom, I always thought like hair was kind of like a standard with beauty. Really long, voluminous hair. But I've also realized that Filipinos don't really embrace curly hair like that. And I come from the Visayas, and a lot of us, my mom has naturally curly hair, but you know, when you go to the Philippines and you go to Manila, you got to get your hair rebonded. And you know, straight hair is like a standard in Asia, but like, it just doesn't, I've always thought that straight hair was always like a thing, and it is a thing in Filipino culture, but that's something comparable to westernized culture, always having that straight bone straight hair. But what I've started to see today and what I've started to embrace is that a lot of Filipinas have naturally wavy hair, and I love that curly hair is becoming a thing now, because island baddie, come on now, like imagine being on the island, being in like Palawan and going into like the beach and just having like that freeing like beach water hair and just doing like, that's what I imagine Filipinas, like literally wearing these dresses. Like Filipinos, we love, it's not about like showing a lot of skin, it's all about like dresses for me. And you can see that with the type of you know, gowns and everything that we wear. Like those are like a standard too. You can see it in the males as well. So we're gonna go in with the BLK Cosmetics blush palette, and I think I'm gonna go with this like rosy color because I've never tried it before, and I'm kind of excited because who does this? I don't do that. So I kind of just want to like really kind of go more into identity and growing up Filipino in Detroit. Growing up black and Filipino in Detroit at that. There's not a lot of us. Literally, to me, it was just me and my cousins. And there's literally not a lot of us here. I definitely felt in between. Imagine feeling in between cultures, but imagine feeling in between 3 cultures. I was in between the Filipino culture, the Ghanaian culture, and the Detroit culture. I'm telling you, like, I didn't know. I felt like I was like living Hannah Montana, but like triple. Like one day I had to be a Filipina. The next day I had to be Ghanaian. And then when I'm around my friends, I couldn't even be either of that, because it's either I'm getting Asian jokes or African jokes. So you know what I had to be? I had to conform into being a Detroit girl. And it's like nothing wrong now, because Detroit is Detroit. Like that's where I feel like I get all my little hustle culture and all of that from too. But at the same time, it's like I didn't know who I was. I couldn't really fathom on who I was growing up, because I had so much to live up to on each side of the culture. It's being accepted in Detroit, being accepted into my Filipino culture, and being accepted into the Ghanaian African culture. Y'all know what it is to be African. Y'all know what it is to grow up African. Strict households. So I always felt there is a big Filipino community here. And I always felt like I wasn't Filipino enough. Now, there is the Filipino American center here in Michigan that connects all the Filipinos that do live here. And like I said, it's not a lot of us. I have been a part of the community a lot. And I was the one that was always singing and, you know, going to the yearly potlucks. But I always felt like none of the girls wanted to hang out with me. I don't know if it was like a skin color thing, but like a lot of the girls here are like Blazian, and I was like the only Blazian, and I could just always recall being in Sterling Heights at the yearly picnic and wanting to play with the kids. And you know, I felt different because I was taller than everybody, and you know, me and my brother, we were like a little bit darker and tan, and we were just not, you know, included in a lot of like the kid stuff. And that really got to me emotionally. Like, I love that blush is like a Filipino like thing. And blush always makes me think like warm, and that's how Filipino culture feels to me. Like, it's really warm, and I love my tan skin. And back then I really hated my skin color, but now it's just like so beautiful to me that the blush really brings out the softness. And I think a lot of us, we start connecting with our culture as adults and not kids. Because like I said, I was very confused as to why a lot of the Asians didn't like me. But now today, it's like, I get it. I looked different because I am different. But we are all the same. And that's what it is about the Filipino culture, because there are different shades of us there as well. My mother comes from the southern part. We are closer to the equator, closer to Indonesia. We are a little bit darker, so it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna go in with the Pink Tule Eye Palette by BLK Cosmetics, and how do we open this? Don't want to break it. We're gonna go with the champagne color, and we love a good champagne color. What else can I say more about identity? Like I said, as a Filipina, as a Blazian, there's a community of us, but I feel like a lot of us feel like we have to be more on our black side. And I was kind of always in my, like I said, growing up, I was kind of like the girl that always had to sing. I was always singing for family because, you know, like I look different. And I didn't really clock that until today, where, you know, maybe because I was tall, I looked a little bit kind of intimidating. Maybe because my skin was a little bit darker, I was a little bit intimidating. And I'm not going to fault any of the kids that made me feel less of myself around them. But like I said, I have a lot of full Filipino friends now, a lot of Asian friends now. And we just didn't know back then as kids. Like, you know, as kids, we're innocent. We don't know. Like I said, I know it's not a race thing, especially here in Michigan. It's not a race thing. Ooh, this color is cute. It's cute. It's a confidence thing at the end of the day. And maybe maybe because I was always put in the spotlight at these like picnics and family things, maybe I gave off like don't talk to me type of stuff. But you know, as a little kid, I'm thinking, I was like, well, why don't the kids want to play with me? Like, I know I look different, I know I'm like a little Filipino girl, but like, dang, I want to play, you know. I don't know, like, how did you guys feel as Blazians, Filipino Blazians, Black and Filipinos at these parties wherever you are in the world? And how did you feel as a little kid when you were kind of like the odd one out because, you know, you weren't like the same skin color? Like, did you feel like out of place? I did. And did you feel like a longing to kind of play with these children as well? Because looking back at it now, there's literally no difference between a Black and Asian and a white and Asian, like, or a Black and Filipino and a white and Filipino. We're literally all the same. I'm going to I'm going to finish off with the Brow Stick Mascara Duo and use the mascara part. It's in brown. I just want to like lightly tap it on my lashes. But my lashes are already like black. But I don't think there's not one way to be Filipino, or there's not one way to be beautiful. And I wanted to make this video for anyone that's currently growing up as a black and Asian, white and Asian, Filipino, fully Filipino. If you ever feel in between, if you're ever like caught in multiple cultures like I do, and not even just Asian, just like if you're mixed with any other type of a whole bunch of mixes. This is for anybody that just feels in between and you're learning to reconnect with your culture later in life. There's nothing wrong with being different. I'm always the type of person to embrace being different, and being different is actually what makes you beautiful, especially in the Filipino culture. And I feel like that is represented with a lot of our colors. It's represented in our flag, in our star. It's represented in our community. It's represented in our family traditions. If you're Filipino, or if you're just someone navigating with identity, I'd love to hear what you think about beauty and femininity and what it meant growing up in your household in the comments. So leave a comment. And this is, oh wait, let me use the Dior lip. And this is the finished look. Not too much. Literally, brows, blush, eyeshadow, soft, cute, ready to be out in the fun. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too bad. Thank you guys for sitting with me while I did my makeup, and comment below what I should talk about in the next one. I hope this was a great introduction to my Filipino followers, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more about my culture. Yeah, like this. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And all the BLK Cosmetic products will be linked below if you're in the Philippines or if you want to order from the Philippines. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye.